Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to keep that thing under control, as in the golf ball. Now, we've just been watching the Open, and the Open guys have been smacking it out there quite low, shall we say, and they've been punching it low because of the wind. And especially when you've got wind going left to right, right to left, and into your face especially, wind can have a huge effect on what that golf ball does in the air. And by lowering the flight, basically keeps it out of the wind as best it can do. Remember, the higher you go, the more ferocious the velocity of the wind, whatever's there, increases. So I'm going to hit a shot or two when it comes to a normal shot, and then I'm going to show you what happens, what I do when it comes to the basics about changing stance, setup of certain things to try and promote a slightly lower flight. And then when it comes to, also I've got some info when it comes to this little black sensor on my wrist, which is a hack motion sensor. Hack motion is a device basically which measures wrist angles and stuff like that, and I'll do a full review of that one on my channel, so make sure you subscribe. And I'll get the old bell on down the bottom so you're notified when I do a full review of this. So I'm going to hit a normal shot, hole 5 at Tall Pines. It's only 300 yards, so I'm only going to hit an iron off the tee. So let's go give this one a hit as normal. Ball positions for me is normal, just fraction further forward than middle, and my handle position is just on the inside of my left leg. Decent hit. I need to change the dots on my golf club. It's been hit too many times when it comes all over the face, and I've been testing forgiveness. 3.4 degrees down, pass within a degree, 34 yards in the air, and 48 degrees descent angle. Not too bad. Now my normal's around about 36, so I'm a couple of yards short, give or take. But what do we do when it comes to trying to promote a lower flight? If you look at my wrist angles there, my wrist angles were 20 degrees at address, which means I've got extension of 20 degrees in my wrist at address. My top of the swing in transition, I'm at 44. I've added 24 degrees of extension, what people see as the bad side, because I'm trying to increase lag. Retained angle, can't stand the word lag, but people see it as lag. So as I'm increasing lag, which is effectively ulnar and radial, as in radial deviation, because you've got your radius and ulnar, right, you kind of get the idea. It's easier as well to add more if you go into extension slightly. So you'll see on the bottom part of the screen, I've got 29 degrees of ulnar deviation. At the top of the golf swing, I'm at 33 degrees of radial, because I'm adding in lag angle, which I can't stand lag angle, but you kind of get the idea. And then when it comes to impact, I'm down to +2. So I've taken 18 degrees of that amount off. Now, when it comes to lower flight, first thing I'll do, move ball position further back. And depending on how low I want to go, it'll either be 1 or 2 balls. Now, there are something, I'll tell you what, I'll get to the next bit, but there is something what we're aware of when we do move ball position. But let's move ball position back 2 balls. I will again keep a bit more weight on my left side throughout the entire swing, but my handle position of my grip will still stay on the left hand side of the inside of my left leg. Ball position is further back, and we're just going to hit one from here. Slight pushy, because I didn't quite get the face released, but we are trying to showcase what happens when we change our ball position. Right, there we go. So path is from the inside now, 5 degrees, which is normal when you move ball position, because when we move ball position around, we're catching it either earlier on or later on the art, depending if we move it forward with the driver and stuff like that. So because our swings is not just vertical, it's not just a vertical up and down, it is a swing around. There's a horizontal aspect to it as well. When you move ball position, you hit the golf ball earlier or later within the curve. And so therefore you change your club path relative to its normal. Now I'm someone who hits it fairly straight when it comes to a 7-iron and with my path. And so as soon as I move ball position, I will have an effect on my path. And so what you saw there was I've gone from within reason 0 to 5 degrees from the inside when I do the low idea. And because of that, what you can get is you can get the overdraws. So you can see the path going from the inside. And then generally speaking, if you don't want to push it out to the right, now I pushed out to the right because I'm I'm aware of what my face angle needs to be because of my path will move. Now, normally what I will do, I'll aim fractionally left and put the ball position further back, all that kind of idea, nothing's changed, but that normal kind of lower shot, but because I've now aimed left, I get a baby turn, but it's controllable. Now that's, wait for it to go. Now path's only 1.9 from the inside. Why? Because I have aimed left to counteract that, and so therefore my face can be fairly square. That's a baby movement in the air, and that's going to be running down the fairway. Now what we want to try and do is we want to try and keep our wrist angles under control. We don't want to see any extension at all. I am still de-lofting as such from extension of 19 degrees from address all the way down to +2, and I'll hover around about the 0, +2, 1 minus, 1 plus, all that under normal circumstances. I won't introduce too much of flexion into impact because it takes a lot of time for me to get right and perfect, and it's just another variable. What we're looking for, because I've got a good relationship between my address amount of extension and my impact amount of extension, I take it away, which reduces loft because I'm hitting down and stuff like that. Then I can keep my normal swing, just move ball position as basics, and has a dramatic effect on what the golf ball does. When you're talking about an individual who swings and has a huge amount of extension at the top and keeps it in there on the way down, and they've got a face which is not just open but massively lofted, and they are high lofted to the right, especially with driver, having something that's like hack motion can make a massive difference to diagnosing and determining what to do to fix it. But there's the ideas when you can transverse it. You can literally turn it on its head and go for the same thing when you're trying to hit it high. If you hit it high, move ball position forward, and kind of that idea does the exact same thing. But we're just talking about how to keep it low. So you've got to make sure you keep the ball position further back. You've got to think about keeping your weight more on your left-hand side so you can keep on top of it, definitely. You do have to be aware of these wrist angles. We've got to make sure, if anything, we try to get as much flexion as we possibly can do at impact by dragging the handle forward like that, keeping that handle ahead, which will put us into flexion, which controls loft. And then you'll get that difference in flight. Depending on what ball flight you are to start with, if you are a fairly straight flight iron player like me, when you do this, you've got to be aware of how much that will potentially turn the golf ball. If you're someone who fades the golf ball by doing this, you might actually find that it actually hits it now straight because you're hitting it further or earlier in the arc. If you're someone who draws the golf ball and you do this, you have to be very aware of what it's going to do to your flight, because it will potentially turn into a hook. And that is, yeah, we don't want to do that. So you've got to make sure you put those things in place, which I do, to try and control not just the height, but the trajectory of it as well. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, thumbs up. YouTube likes it, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It's great for the channel. If you could do that, that'd be brilliant. And next to it is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. That'll let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.